Somebody changed my screen. Help. Perfect. Thank you, Charlie. I don't know what I'd do without Charlie. He's a marvel. Okay, Scott Hensey, come on up. We have a board to introduce.
Morning, Diana. So we've been working on the next board. So when I call your name, stop eating and come on up. Michael McLaughlin, not here. There it is. Or Bill Sauber. Oh. Bill.
There's Bill.
Linda Taylor. Joyce. Here. Brian Bauer. Stop your chewing. Don Gretsch. Bob Keiser. Joe Gaz is not here. So this is the board as we have them assembled. Our incoming president, Kathy Rogers. So, I know you're nervous, but we must vote. So, we have all yays. If you say yay, then all the names. Okay.
Thank you very much. If you have a couple of slots we still need to fill, and please say yes when you're asked. Thank you. Okay, Charlie, last week I missed your wife's birthday.
Oh, sorry, yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't miss it by much.
What'd you do?
You're on the money. We went out to the beach, I took a walk, had clam chowder, and celebrated her qualification for Medicare.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Charlie. Okay, and Jim and Elaine Glom have their a happy anniversary. I don't know if they're up there today. But happy anniversary. Bob, come on, stand on up. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you so much, Bob. Okay, Linda Taylor, you have an anniversary. This is a membership anniversary. So you joined a year ago. Wow, and you're already taking a position on the board. I really appreciate that. Do you would like to say a few words? It's been fun. Great, thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, now Sierra Garcia, you want to come on up, and you this is our student of the month.
We'll stand over here so everybody can see you. I'm not sure if we can get over the top of that. At any rate, Sierra, this is your second time around, right? You were student of the month last year. And she's been doing a lot of stuff. One of the things that she got involved with was redoing the Peace Bowl. So she painted that. I gave her a set of paints and she took off and created a real beautiful piece, which has a lot of symbolism in it. So tell us a little bit about what you did that. Besides just painting it, you put some little symbols in there. It had some meaning.
First off, I just want to say thank you for inviting me. It's very nice to see you all. So the symbolism on the peace pole, there's 4 sides, and each side has something in it that kind of encompasses the community of Sonoma County. On one of the sides, I put ice cream cones because it's standing outside of Screamin' Meanies, which is a beloved area in Sebastopol. I actually got to drive by it this morning, and it's always nice to drive by it. I put a lot of peace symbolism on it to represent how peace on earth is still important, even like today. It was a message that was spread around a long time ago, but now I think it's even more important with everything that our community has gone through and everything that is happening just in the world in general. We kind of just need to complete the chants again. I put some vines on there too. I think that a community is like a vine. We all kind of are on this vine. Yeah, we're all kind of on this vine. We're all just a leaf. And I think that it's important that we all realize how important our community is.
So, so about a month ago, we did sort of a presentation of the peace pole, and she wrote a poem, and I asked her to come and read the poem that she wrote. So, but got a lot of poems in there.
Yeah. I call this poem Community. Community is like a flower, petals connecting each other to our home. Community is like a redwood tree, resilient and proudly standing through hardship. Community is like a crutch. They will be there for you to bounce back on. Community is like the coldest ice cream on the hottest summer day. It's the family gathering around the dinner table. And most importantly, community is the strongest rhino in the savannah. Community is the trait of togetherness and the warmth during winter. It's the hug the world deserves after all we've gone through. Through everything, our community stands tall. Thank you.
Thank you, Sierra.
Well, it was wonderful. I've read to you before what it stands for. I don't need to do it again. You can tell already what a wonderful plan this is. So you've done a beautiful plan. And you got 2 of them on the wall. And if you're running out of room, we also have $100 for you to spend any way you want. And one last thing, if you all remember Art Star, they came and gave a talk here last year, and they're creating a piece for the campus, and guess who's working on it? Just real quick, do it.
So last month, I began an apprenticeship where I learned how to do glass cutting for the peace pole. It's going to be mosaic. And I think it was a really nice opportunity to get because I've never done glass cutting before, and I've gotten a lot of injuries from it, but it's okay because it's to learn, don't you? And my apprenticeship ended at the beginning of this month, but I've been in talks with ArtStar to actually get another sort of apprenticeship going, and I'm hoping that once the peace pole is done, they can come to our campus and we can have a massive unveiling for it. So.
Well, then let's give her a great hand.
Thank you very much. Young woman to be proud of. It looks like Sarah, for the first time, isn't with us today, is she?
Yeah, she's in finals. Taking finals.
She actually has to take the test too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, she's playing on Thursday night, 6 o'clock here at the school. If anybody wants to come over and watch her play soccer, she's a starter. Wow.
Terrific. Thank you. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
All right, and it looks like The fearsome 4 or 3.5, it says 3.5 miles. Boy, that's quite a bit. I'm going to keep moving on here. We have a lot to cover. Thank you. And the garden table, Dan. Okay, Bob. Okay, well, you gotta duke it out over there and decide what's gonna cost.
You know, I think a couple of days, weeks ago, I said a rotary moon. This is another one of them. It was, prior to, Dan, who was the person who did the garden? Curtis Short. Curtis Short has transformed this part of the parking lot into a garden paradise. And the problem was that there wasn't enough, architects to enjoy it. So through community service, Dan was able to, we were able to apply the table, and we worked with the students to. It was amazing.
And which students are these, and a little about them, please?
Okay, this is a program at Ridgeway, I believe. It's for 18 to 21-year-olds who have more challenges than most, and so you know, I that wasn't imperative to me. I mean, these just jumped in.
Michael,
Yeah. Santa Rosa, it's Ridgeway High School, which was, and we had someone from the morning club in Sebastopol, or the Santa Rosa morning club. It was great.
hey, you got the paper too, right?
And paper and video.
Yeah, that is terrific. Thank you very much. And helping these young people that need a little extra help, and we're trading off eating on one picnic table in a weed bed. It's turned into a beautiful place for them. Thank you. All right, thanks again. We have again, Dan, this time I'm calling on you.
So I had the pleasure of dropping off a $4,000 check from our club for the Red Wing Fire Food Bank. That's support for one of the ongoing food things that are going on in Sebastopol, and we support it all the time. Plus, part of our December effort with the food bank to continue our tradition of serving those who need it for the holiday season. So that's true. From the restaurant in the Pacific Market, I've spoken around the slots and bills, so we spent a couple of hours doing that. Please come and see me sign up. Then we're also going to be packing the food bank on Wednesday, the 21st, from 5 to 7. We did one shift on Wednesday, so people will be able to work. And then on Thursday, we at a different spots. Same much we've done on toys to folks pick my food at St. Sebastian's, and other person that. So this is one piece of all of this that we're going to do. When if you can help in any of these events, please let me know. Come over and sign up. There's electronic ways to do it, but please help us continue our tradition of helping feed those who are less fortunate than us this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like, Linda, could you go tap on the door and see if Esmeralda is still here?
On the Interact front, the Interactors and I were at the food bank last night. And then on this Saturday, we're going to be wrapping presents from 9 to noon at the fire station, and with the fire truck distributing, because that's working with the
Okay. Well, great. Thank you, Bob. Just terrific work that this club does for the community. Is Esmeralda here?
Here she comes.
Oh, I just want everyone to stand up and give Esmeralda a big hand for your work. Really appreciate it. I want to thank you very much. And there's just a little extra in here for you. And Merry Christmas from us. And we just love having you here. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. The Sunshine Cafe. Okay, David, I just thought this, you sent me this and I just thought it was beautiful. And the random acts of kindness and what Rotary does for the world. It's wonderful. Thank you for sending that to me. Okay, do we have any announcements? Oh, we'll move on to appreciation. Okay.
I just have one announcement. I put over there, I had some very nice Sonoma County manufactured cheese left over from the party on Sunday. And it's right there, pick one up, take it home. It's special to me because it's named after, man, we left, it's named after Mike Steckhorn, who was when I did yearbook. Mike was one of my yearbook editors. He went on to become a firefighter and then ended up, unfortunately, in a traffic accident, being killed. But it's named after it's Larry Peters, who owned the cheese company's cousin and or nephew, I should say. So that's why it's named. But anyway, pick one up, take it home. It's very, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have a gratitude?
Yes, I just want to acknowledge Dan Neef here. I have to look at the name that. Dan is, it's just unbelievable. You know, every time I open my email, I see, 10 different things or 15 different areas of service that Dan is working on. And not only that, he came over yesterday and helped me do some major movement furniture in my house. And I'm very much appreciated, and he's been a great help for me as I need help at home. But Dan's a great Rotarian, and I have.
So true, thank you. Oh, and that just reminded me of something David sent to me. It's Marlene Friedley from the Rotary Club of Petaluma has passed away. And she and her husband years ago started the 3rd grade dictionary project where we gave all 3rd graders a dictionary. It started with their club, spread to the district, and it's a national event now with Rotary clubs. So that's what Rotary can do for the world. Just spread the good. Thank you. Thank you, David, for letting me know about that. Okay, well, we have coming events again, and again, I'm running a little tight on time, so I will email this out to you. We've had a number of them announced by Dan. He's been driving so much here and getting so much done for us. So, yeah, we're a busy club. And next year, John Roach is going to talk to us about his time in Europe and what he's done. I'm really looking forward to that, John. And now we have Brittany Jensen. And Charlie's coming on.
Thank you. So, Brittany Jensen is the executive director of the Gold Ridge Resource Conservation District. And a lot of people don't know what a resource conservation district is and does, but we're about to find out. She has more than, actually, she's been there since 2005 when she was hired as an intern. And she's got over 17 years of experience assisting private and public landowners implement conservation projects, maintaining positive working relationships, fundraising, performing outreach, managing staff, and engaging with the agricultural and environmental communities in Sonoma County. She's been instrumental in receiving millions of dollars in grant funding and provides leadership for the conservation district programs locally and regionally. She's a native of Southern California, but she now calls Western Sonoma and Northern Marin counties her home for the past 20 years. And she also worked as a farmhand alongside her son on her husband's 6th-generation sheep ranch, as well as a wildlife preserve on Tomales Bay, where she received her bachelor's degree in environmental studies from Sonoma State University. And with that, I'll put your presentation on the screen and hand you the mic.
Morning. Claire was such a wonderful speaker. I was like taking notes over there. I don't know if anyone else, but I teared up a little bit. It's really moved. So thank you all for allowing me to spend my morning with you. As he's getting that pulled up, I just wanted to share my great-grandfather was a Rotarian. I think maybe he didn't miss a meeting for something like 7 years or something. He lived to 101. Do I need to talk louder? Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, thank you. Sorry if you missed what I just said, but all right, well, I'm just going to share a little bit about what a resource conservation district is, just so I don't bore anyone. Does anyone know already what a resource conservation district is?
Tell us.
Oh, great, okay. Well, resource conservation districts are okay. They're special districts. So the Goldridge Resource Conservation District was formed in 1941 in response to the Dust Bowl. So the federal government knew they needed to do something about soil conservation, but farmers and ranchers who were managing most of the United States soils were leery of allowing the federal government onto their land. So the federal government worked with state governments and then local communities to create boards of local farmers and ranchers to funnel funds to farmers and ranchers to do soil conservation. And that's where conservation districts were born. They used to be called soil conservation districts. And in the 70s, were changed their name to resource conservation districts because a lot of the work that we do expands now into water and wildlife and climate change. Our role in the community is to kind of find that sweet spot between the natural resource issues, economic needs, and human needs. The work that we do is all voluntary, which means that we only work with people who want to work with us. And we respond to the most pressing natural resources concerns by helping landowners or land managers be part of the solution. We coordinate and collaborate with community partners to achieve watershed and landscape level conservation goals. And I'll get more into what exactly those things are. Here is most of our current board members. Tori Olson with the ball cap there, he was a Rotarian who moved up to Washington last year, so he has been replaced, but you may recognize some of these, and Guy Smith, you may recognize some of these folks. So our board of directors, like I said, are local farmers, ranchers, community members that are appointed by the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors. Here's our team. We have about 11 to 13 staff who are mostly technical in nature. We've all mostly got our degrees in biology or geomorphology or agriculture, and we help kind of bridge the gap between when there's needs in the local community and then getting state, federal, and other dollars to get the solutions on the ground. Please raise your hand if I get my microphone too far away from my mouth. I talked a little bit about our history already. There are 95 RCDs in California and 3,000 conservation districts across the US. So this is something you'll find in most counties, especially counties with any kind of agricultural operations. There are 2 resource conservation districts in Sonoma County. So you can see in the red border, that's the smaller one is the Goldridge Resource Conservation District. So that's where we are now. It's like the Russian River to the Marin County border and then Laguna de Santa Rosa west to the ocean. And then the rest of the county is the Sonoma Resource Conservation District. we're pretty rare in that, in Sonoma County, we have 2 resource conservation districts. There used to be 7. But they've consolidated over time. Most counties just have 1. Here's the zooming in, so you can see a little bit more about what the district boundaries where we are. So it incorporates most of it incorporates all of Sebastopol. So we accomplish our mission through planning and assessment, so listening and studying. And then we do on the ground projects. So most of the work that we do is finding the issues, finding the solutions, and then making it happen. We also do a lot of education, both for youth and adults, as well as technical assistance. So people call and say, I have this specific problem, and then we connect them with the right resources to answer their questions. We serve rural landowners, farmers and ranchers, government agencies, municipalities, and more. I just wanted to give a little bit of a scale of the work that we do. So our average annual budget's $2 to $3 million. We do get a little bit of property tax funding, and for every dollar we get from property taxes, we get $127 from other sources. Our work is funded through federal grants, state grants, what you can see. And then most of the work that we have been doing lately is a lot of drought response, so stream flow enhancement. This is for sand-wanted species, which are close to being extinct, as well as other wildlife habitat enhancement, including a lot of monarch work lately, which I'll talk a little bit more about. And we do a lot of work on climate resiliency and carbon farming, as well as forest management and other kind of responses as needed. I'm going to run through some of our programs that I thought you all might be interested in, and then hopefully I saved enough time for you to ask questions. We currently have, I think, about 65 different projects and things we're working on, some of which include many individual properties. So I didn't want to take up all the time today. This is an example, this map is a few years old, but this is an example of kind of across the landscape, the type of work that we do. So you can just see that we work with, even though we're kind of a small district, we work with a lot of the people you probably know and drive around in this area. One of the exciting things that we've been doing lately is what we call carbon farming. And really what this is basically is working with farmers and ranchers to see how they can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also more importantly, sequester carbon, both in the soil, but also and through planting trees and things. So we go visit ranchers and farmers who are interested and talk with them about what their goals are, what the opportunities are, and make a plan for what they could do, and then try and help them find the funding to implement those. So this could be compost application or hedgerow planting. We do a lot of water resilience projects. So we have done a lot of work on roof rainwater catchment, or transferring people's water from stream use, which is highly impacted. A lot of people, as you know, around here don't receive municipal water. They do in Sebastopol, but in the outskirts, they either rely on groundwater or stream flow. And so when there's a stream and there's lots of people using the water, sometimes it could go dry, which impacts your human neighbors, but also your animal neighbors. And since this area does have several federally and state listed species like coho salmon, steelhead, red-legged frogs, there's endangered shrimp, that everyone relies on that water. So we try and help people figure out if they can use a different source of water rather than stream flow to leave water in the creeks for fish and other species. We also do water resilience projects just for the sake of resilience. We've done a couple of big agricultural projects to increase farmers' access to water, especially in drought, as well as fire departments and other communities. So you may see the Valley Forge Cheese Company as an example. There's a big rainwater catchment tank in the back. I don't know if you guys have seen that, or at the Bodega Volunteer Fire Department. The Valley Forge Cheese Company tank is emergency backup water for the Valley Forge Volunteer Fire Department. Same in Bodega. So we use their roofs to capture water so that in the summers when water is scarce or goes missing, they have a backup water source to fight fires. We also do a lot of forest management plans. So in the past 7 years, we've had a rude awakening on the impacts of not managing forests have had in our community and wildfire and not being prepared for wildfire. So a lot of the work that we're doing is working with landowners to help them come up with decisions on how to manage their forests in a way that increases the health of the forest, but also the safety of the inhabitants. We work on an individual property scale as well as we've been working with groups of communities. So this is up on off Joy Road between Occidental and Bodega. And we worked with 19 landowners to create a plan of what they could do to make their community more safe and healthy. And then we have a program called the North Bay Forest Improvement Program, which then they took the plan that they had and then they applied for funding. We got through CAL FIRE to implement it. So this includes things like thinning and defensible space around their homes, selecting for trees that are too close together that would be healthier if they're further spaced apart. And this is an ongoing application process. We also have started the Land Smart Community Grazing Program. This is a program where anyone with land that could benefit from grazing for field management could apply. And we help pair people with smaller grazing operations that can come onto properties. And we help both with like trying to figure out how to do that, but also helping to fund the contract grazers because it can be kind of expensive to come in and do some field treatment. There's a lot of benefits to this I could talk about in depth. And then, like I said, we do a lot of wildlife habitat. So in the crisis of almost losing our beautiful monarch butterfly, a lot of funding came out to try and do some last ditch efforts. And so we've been working for the past 3 or 4 years to protect overwintering sites. These are places where butterflies stay over the winters, which in this area is a lot, usually eucalyptus or cypress grove stands. So making sure that if there was butterflies attached to any of these, that the trees were healthy enough. And so we took off any dead or dying limbs that were going to fall off, as well as increasing milkweed plantings. So this is the type of plant that the monarch butterflies need to lay their eggs on and then the caterpillars grow on. And so we've been doing a lot of work around increasing forage and nesting materials for monarch butterflies. And then we've been doing work for decades on salmon habitat in all different kinds of ways to try and make sure that the next generation can still maybe see a salmon in the wild. We also do a lot of watershed studies and watershed enhancement. So one of the examples we have going right now is we've been studying the Atascadero watershed, which is this watershed over here, for many years. And if those of you who live there know it has problems both of erosion up in the upper watersheds where the creeks are going down and banks are falling in. And then at the bottom, all of a sudden it kind of clogging it up and increasing a lot of flooding down there. And so we've been working on projects. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife has been reintroducing salmonids to some of the tributaries in that watershed that they hadn't existed for a long time. It's mostly coho. And so we're trying to understand the coho are a lot of times not surviving to make it back out into the ocean and to come back again. And so we're trying to study why they aren't doing that and then how we could increase their chance of survival. So we're doing a lot of work on studying how best to do that. And we have a lot of projects in the works to reduce flooding and increase the water quality and habitat in Atascadero. And then we do a lot of education and outreach. We do farm tours. So elementary school kids come out to farms that have easements from the Sonoma County Ag and Open Space District and learn about agriculture and the environment. We also have a lot of programs where we work with an organization from Point Blue called STRAW, Students and Teachers Restoring the Waterfront. Kids come out and plant trees and shrubs at farms and ranches and can watch them grow. And I really zoomed through it so that I have the time for questions. So that's information about our organization and then our sister organization over in the rest of Sonoma County and then the statewide. And I did have some newsletters over there in case anyone wanted contact information. Yeah.
Are you aware of a Rotarian who has, I don't know, thousands of milkweed plants that are helping the monarchs?
I am not.
Yeah, there's a Rotarian and that's her mission. And she offers, anyone that wants them can have them, but I live at the coast, so she said you have to be 5 miles in for it to work. So
yeah,
we need to probably get you in touch with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not the one who runs our Monarch program, but they may already be in touch. We've been giving away milkweed. Within 5 miles, so maybe they're already working together. I'm not sure, but yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up that Tascadero. You're talking about where the Green Valley Road goes over the creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live right there.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Can
yeah.
you say a little bit more about that? Cause like the soil under the bridge is going right
Yeah.
up to the bottom of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on there?
So. Well, we have a couple long studies on it if you want to get into the nitty gritty details, but basically because of erosion that's been happening in the upper part of the watershed. And the way the watershed landscape has changed, it's all getting stuck there, all the soil that comes down and backing up. So there's a bridge there he's talking about. It used to have like, I don't think 12 feet of clearance and then it had like maybe 1.5 feet of clearance. And then they dug it out a couple of years, the Sonoma County Water Agency dug it out a couple of years ago. The Sonoma County Water Agency has since abandoned that project. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're working and trying to figure out to see what can happen there. There's not an easy solution, otherwise it would have been done, but it's something that I can put you in contact and we can talk more in depth with him.
Thanks for getting involved.
Yeah.
Another thing that's so awesome is that last year, like, early November, the salmon were all over the place. It was beautiful. So,
Yeah.
so is there a place to look where it tells you where the salmon are and they're tracking them and know which creeks to see them?
That's a good question. There is the unfortunately, I think it's being unfunded, but there's the Russian River Coho Food Stock Program. So they talk about where the salmon are in the Russian River, although I think the data is a little far behind. My best suggestion around here is actually Salmon Creek School. There's a waterfall there. You can see the salmon trying to jump up there. That's one of the best places publicly to view salmon in this area, I think. But they're in all the creeks around. Maybe the flooded Green Valley Road Bridge.
Is the district involved in the Centers of Plain Groundwater Sustainability Agency?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing that up. So are you all of you aware that the groundwater sustainability agency? So basically, the state mandated that areas where groundwater could be at threat of being lost had to form groundwater sustainability agencies and then create groundwater sustainability plans. And so Santa Rosa Plain is one of those areas that the state said there had to be an agency and a plan. And at the time, the county and the cities in the Santa Rosa Plain were working together to create the agency. And at the time, there didn't really seem to be any seats at the table for rural or agricultural that represent rural or agricultural groundwater users in the basin. So the RCDs, both of them fought really hard to try and get a seat at the table, just so that we would have a voice, because there were 7 cities in the county and that was it. And recently the city of Sebastopol joined the groundwater sustainability agency. And so the Gold Ridge Resource Conservation District has 1 seat, and the Sonoma RCD has 1 seat on the groundwater sustainability agency. And I think what that means for this community is that parts of Sebastopol that are in the GSA, not all of Sebastopol, have probably received a notice if you use groundwater of a fee on your tax bill. That goes to fund the GSA. So that's been a big thing in the news. And then the second thing is there eventually will start to be projects to improve groundwater sustainability. The RCD's role in that is really just to we have one of our board members is a board member on the GSA. So we're taking feedback always from the perspectives we hear from our local community to that GSA board. So I hope that's clear enough. It's a very long and complicated government situation. Yeah.
Tell us where your office is.
Okay, my office is off Sullivan Road, just down the road here, which is kind of in between Creighton Road off Mill Station, and it's on the top of the hill on one of the Dunn Ranch properties.
Lane, Campbell's old property.
House, maybe.
It's a two-story old farmhouse up on top of the hill, yeah. Anything else?
Across the valley of the 200 or 150-year-old Victorian, that if you just look past that old tin barn across the street, across the road, just look past that, there's a 150-year-old Williams Ranch house. That's where I live.
Okay, well, come say hi.
Thank you, don't go away yet. No, you don't get out here that easy. Thank you. I just want to thank you very much for being here and telling us about this. It's very interesting to me, and I think to our entire club. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I need to get, how do I get back to my, yeah, you left me hanging here, Charlie. Thank you. I do appreciate you because I could probably figure it out, but we'd be sitting here quite a while. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I want to go here. Yeah, no, second from current slides. Slideshow from current slide. Go. Thank you, Charlie. Good. Yeah, it takes three of us. Reminds me of an old joke. Okay. Okay, now we have a drawing. Our weekly drawing.
Today's big winner. 37-53.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. It's great.
Rich get picture.
Maybe it's warm in there.
Not right there. Okay, great.
The opportunity.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Is that great?
No, should I give it to her? Yeah. Good luck. Maybe you'll win something there. Thank you so much. Okay, Bill Solver, do you have a joke for us?
I have several. What kind of exercise do lazy people do? Diddly squats. Want to hear construction go? Never mind, I'm still working on that one. Why don't scientists trust atoms? You got it. Everything. Why did the gym close down? It just didn't work out. Two artists had an art contest. It ended in a draw. And finally, I used to have a fear of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, we'll sing Happy Trails. Would you like to lead us off in that, Rod?
I would suggest
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's even better.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year.